It started with a scream. Not the kind that echoes from fear, but the sharp gasp of a crowded hallway falling into silence. Mrs. Eliza Carter stood frozen by the lockers, her blouse torn wide open from the shoulder down, revealing the bruises of the past and the scars she had never intended to show. Laughter hovered on the edge of the air, but it never came. Because in the very next second, the crack of bones silenced the entire school. Eliza Carter had never imagined herself standing in front of a high school classroom. She used to dream of being a stage actress in New York City, but life and bills pulled her in a different direction. After her divorce, with no home and a 5-year-old son to feed, teaching was the first lifeline that reached out. Despite her struggles, Eliza walked into Northridge High every day with her head held high. Her students respected her. Some even loved her. She was known for her fierce wit and how she never let anyone feel small in her class. No matter who they were. But not everyone admired her. Among the hundreds of students, there was one who made it his mission to test her. Dylan Briggs, a senior with a cocky grin, a football jacket, and a cruel streak that hid behind charm. Dylan came from a family with money and influence. He knew the rules didn't apply to him, and worse, he enjoyed making people remember it. Eliza had called him out more than once for mocking a classmate's weight, for cheating on a quiz, for walking out of detention like he owned the place. But each time she stood up to him, his smug smile only widened. And he waited. It happened on a Thursday afternoon. The hallway was packed. The bell had just rung for lunch, and Eliza was placing books in her locker before heading to the teacher's lounge. She didn't notice Dylan and his friends creeping up behind her. "Hey, Miss Carter," Dylan said with a smirk, "you dropped something." When she turned around, he yanked the fabric of her shirt at the shoulder with a vicious tug hard enough to tear it open. Her bra strap was exposed. The side of her chest, where an old scar lingered from a car accident long ago, was visible. The hallway went still. And Dylan chuckled, "Oops, my bad." Something inside Eliza snapped. She didn't scream. She didn't cover herself in shame. She looked him straight in the eyes, her breath steady. Then she stepped forward. Before Dylan could process it, her knee was in his gut. He doubled over, and she grabbed his wrist. "You think this is funny?" she whispered coldly. "Then laugh at this." She twisted his arm back in a trained motion, a reflex from years of self-defense classes she took after her ex-husband had once raised a hand to her. There was a sickening crack. Dylan dropped to the floor, screaming. No one laughed. Not even his friends. The school was in chaos within minutes. An ambulance was called. Dylan was taken away, and Eliza was sent to the principal's office. A hearing was scheduled. News spread like wildfire. Teacher broke student's arm. But the truth was more complicated. Security cameras had captured the entire incident. And when the footage was reviewed, the school board sat in stunned silence. Not just because of what Dylan did, but because of how often he had done it to others. Several students came forward after that. Girls who had been groped in the hallways. Boys he had shoved, intimidated, blackmailed. No one had spoken up before. They were afraid. But when Mrs. Carter didn't flinch, they realized they didn't have to either. A week later, Eliza was reinstated. The school board ruled her actions as self-defense. Dylan's parents tried to file a lawsuit, but once testimonies from nearly a dozen students poured in, their case dissolved. Eliza stood before her class again, her eyes steady. "I'm not proud of what I did," she said quietly, "but I won't ever apologize for protecting myself. Or for showing you that no one has the right to make you feel powerless." The classroom was silent. Then a student in the back, a quiet girl named Abby who never raised her hand, clapped. Soon, the whole room did.